Thanks, Adrian. Today I want to show Everfront Biotech's product, Cerebraca Wafer, revolutionizing brain cancer treatment to treat the most common but aggressive form of brain tumor, glioblastoma. Try to imagine if someone you know for a long time and you are familiar with it. Unfortunately, the person was diagnosed with this kind of disease, and physician may tell you no clear improvement and only street treatment can be used. Although aggressive treatment, chemo, radiotherapy, surgery, most of the patient will suffer from the disease recurrence and only 6 to 9 months in average survival. And because of the visit to all kinds of treatment, the surgery method may be one of the best policy to treat the disease. There are only 2 chemo, 1 target therapy, shared $4.4 billion US. Among them, Cerebraca Wafer is great, a very great design as a surgical combination to treat glioblastoma. However, the unmet medical need remains to be here. The toxicity, unwanted safety profile, seizures, healing issue, brain edema, always damage patients' life quality, and although it improves the survival, but we need to improve it. And so we developed a Cerebraca Wafer. We show you that we try to use Cerebraca Wafer to do to perform in the glioblastoma recurrence patient, and we extend that survival to 26.2 months compared to current about treatment 6 to 9. And the safety profile shows you the neurological adverse reaction. The occurrence rate is much lower than using Cerebraca Wafer, seizures, edema, and one of to be noticed is fever in our study, but it probably related to some kind of immune activation. I'll show you in the later slide. Most of the patients in our study can discharge from the hospital within 2 or 3 weeks, and based on the questionnaire, most of them will show their quality of life will improve. So we try to understand how we make an impact to the patients. Compared to current about treatment, they only can inhibit the cancer cell proliferation, and Avastin target therapy much more advanced. But it's a target therapy. In that time, the primary endpoint over survival was not met in that time. So there are some key challenges to be overcome. So we try to understand how the GBM, heterogeneity, very complicated tumor microenvironment. So we use Cerebraca Wafer incorporate a receptor tyrosine kinase inhibitor to inhibit AXL1, c-MET, and EGFR to modulate the microenvironment. And it can be used to inhibit cancer stem cell proliferation, also including cancer cell. And it reduces the chemo resistance and turn the cold lesion into a hot lesion. And because the high therapeutic index of our API, so the drug can be loaded into the wafer much more high loading. So the drug penetration distance is much more improved as long as 5 centimeters. Here show you our protocol. After patient with recurrent glioblastoma, neurosurgeon remove the tumor and cover the wafer onto the cavity. After drug release sustained for 30 days, the wafer, the drug can modulate the microenvironment, make the recession much more complete. And here show you our pipeline. We focus on local delivery strategy to treat glioblastoma as we focus on it. And next step we want to do, we are going to conduct a pivotal study and aim for the accelerated approval. And other pipelines show you that we try to use local delivery strategy to treat pancreatic cancer, and we have an oral administration route to treat neurodegeneration, solid tumor as our other clinical assay. And here show you our leadership, Chair Lady, and well experienced in biotech drug development, CEO, COO, and our KOL PI in the US, Dr. Chen from University Medical School. And here show you our department and our scientific advisory board focused on neurosurgeon, neuro-oncology, toxicology, pathology, regulatory strategy, and chemical manufacturing. Thank you very much.
So I never introduced myself. I'm Jui-Hao from Mass Lectures. I didn't quite understand what the therapy was.
It's a surgical combination. So we use this wafer to be used after they remove
What's the composition of the wafer?
Yeah, it's like the wafer composition like Galileo wafer. We try to modify the component from them, so we use the same strategy as same as Galileo wafer to treat glioblastoma. Yeah.
And is the wafer, does it have to be removed after the surgery?
No. It would, based on our study, because you saw our data, the 26.2 months median overall extension. So we have some NRI data with contrast agent, and we found that the wafer will like dissolve and as a glue or mix as a little spot, not just like a wafer shape in among at 2 years time point. So we think that the excipient will still remain in the brain, but looks like you want to trigger some seizure or some edema thing. So we think that this excipient is a safe Galileo wafer.
Very good. Yeah. What's the API?
Oh, it's we isolate it from Chinese medicine, so it's a nature compound. But after we screening 4 or 5 potential candidates, and we select one of it, the most lead compound for as a receptor tyrosine kinase inhibitor, we use this compound to screen several kinds of cancer cell, and we use the SPR and auto-docking system to try to find the target. So after that study, we found that it's a tyrosine kinase inhibitor and can really match these 3 receptors. Of course, we try to use some biomarker analysis. It's unpublished data. We understand that some of the patients with a really great prognosis do express this biomarker. So we anticipate that we will publish this data by the end of this year.
So I'm still trying to understand the product. So the product is the combination of the wafer and a novel API. The wafer is also novel?
Yeah. Wafer excipient we modify from the Galileo wafer. So it's a new excipient, but the composition is almost as same as Galileo wafer, and the API is a new chemical entity.
So does the wafer have any patents that cover it that belong to the third party?
Yeah, sure. No, we have the patent cover the formulation but not the API because it's a nature compound. But we have the synthesis patent.
Where does your patent protection cover? The United States?
The US, Taiwan, China, Europe, and Japan. Yeah.